Welcome viewers to a new episode of the DENSO Tech Academy video tutorial series. Today I would like to introduce to you the SP1 Inspect software. SP1 Inspect is a small piece of software which we can use together with our SP1 RFID reader, and we can use it for some advanced demonstration purposes. So we have advanced demonstration functionalities, but not only this one, we have as well some basic workflows included in this software which we can use, for instance, to do some basic inventory taking or shipment control. So let's have a look at this piece of software and let's see what we have on the device. Okay, so here we have our device screen, and as you can see I have installed the SP1 target setting software and the SP1 Inspect software on the device. So the first thing we will do is to make sure that we have our SP1 unit paired with the BHT 1800, and to do this we use the SP1 target setting software. But first I will switch on my SP1 device. So you heard the sound, the device is now starting up, and as soon as the blue Bluetooth LED is flashing, I know that the device is in connection mode. This device is basically a device which is coming out of the box. So I start my SP1 target setting, and on the SP1 target setting I press the start button to get the camera activated, and now I take my device and with the camera I point on the QR code on the back side of the device, and now it started searching for this unit, and there it is. We heard the beep. So now it is connected to the device, and what is important now on this one is that we have to click here not to use the bundled sample application, but in this case if we want to use it with the SP1 Inspect we have to click on use other apps in the compatibility mode. So you heard the SP1 beep, which means that now the Bluetooth connection is broken again, and if we start up the SP1 Inspect we can do that. To now connect the SP1 Inspect with the SP1, first we need to press the pair button on the SP1 until the Bluetooth LED is flashing again, and then we simply click here on the icon in the top bar to connect the device. So we heard the beep, and now we see here in the bottom of the screen we have the serial number of the SP1 and the system version running on the SP1. So that was the first part for getting the connection done, and now we will start having a look at the application. So you see the application basically has two parts in the main menu: the application part and the inspection part. And in the top bar we have the icon for the SP1 where we see if it is connected or not, and we have the icon to go into the settings menu of the SP1 Inspect application. So let's have a first look on the settings. We see here we have different settings available: common settings, RFID settings, pre-filter settings, and barcode settings. Let's have a look at the common settings. So with the common settings we can control the buzzer sound, buzzer volume, buzzer tone, and so on and so on. And of course we have here a functionality to update the SP1 firmware. RFID settings, we have the usual RFID settings like trigger mode, read power, channels, Q factor, and stuff like this. These are now preset settings we have in the application. To get the real settings from the device, the first thing we should do here is click the Obtain button. So we got the settings which are currently stored on the SP1 device and reflected them back into this application. And now we can do some changes here if we need them. So we can go through, we can select the antenna polarization, power saving, link profile, all this stuff, and of course we can initialize the RFID settings. If we change a setting, let's say we want to change the read power to a very small value so that we're only reading text which are very close to our antenna. We can do it like this. Well, now I clicked too much. Again, obtaining the settings. Now change the read power, go back one step, and then of course we need to click the apply settings to get these settings reflected to the device. Good, what else do we have? Pre-filter settings. With the pre-filters we can register some filters. So let's say we only want to read certain text with a certain pattern inside the bank, the memory bank where we're looking at. So we can use this here to configure up to 6 filters and apply them. So using this, reflecting the filters back into the SP1 device, we can make sure that we only read tags which are matching the filters and which are going through the filters. Next settings, we have the barcode settings, of course. To configure the built-in scanner, we can configure the trigger mode, light mode, marker mode, and so on, decode level, the usual stuff we know from our settings. And of course we can set up the code types which we want to read. So by default we have all code types here reflected. Again, here we can click on obtain to see what settings we have currently in the device. So trigger mode, decode level, let's see if the codes, the codes are there. So let's say we don't want to read ITF and STF, same procedure, change the settings, apply to reflect them back onto the device. So, well, that's the quick overview on the settings. We have the possibilities we have to change the settings of the device. Now, let's have a look into the inspection section. The inspection section is basically the section we use for demonstrating and testing the device, or demonstrating and test reading certain tags or stuff like this. So we see here we have different possibilities: reading, writing RFID tags. We have a tag search function, which I will show you later on, and we have a barcode reading function to check the barcode reading. Let's start with this one. Basically, I can go in there and then I can simply click start reading. We hear the beep of the device, and now I can scan a barcode and get this result shown on the screen. Basically, that's it. So I can click finish reading, and you see here now one thing we can start here directly. There is an output button in the lower part of the screen, which is grayed out. Why it is grayed out? The SP1 Inspect, now if I want to go back, it asks me for clearing the data, so I don't need this data anymore, so we can clear this. If I go back to the main screen, the SP1 Inspect is an application which is basically working and available to everyone, but there are some functions which are need a license to be installed on the device and a license to be purchased to use these functions. And one of these functions is in the inspection part, the writing of the collected data onto the device storage. And we see here in the bottom part, the SP1 Inspect application shows us a device identifier, and it shows it's a trial license. So basically what we need to do is, if you want, you can contact us if you download the software, and if you want to have the full function enabled, we can provide some demo licenses which are time limited as well. Or if you purchase a license, you will contact us and let us know the device identifier, and then we generate a license file and send you the license file. And I've done this for this device already. So I have a license file for this device, which I already copied onto the device. So we can look into the internal storage, into downloads. No, wait a minute, where is it? There, download. There is the license file. So what I want to do now is to move this file to a certain folder on the device. So where we need to place the license file. I will do this here. Select, wait, show internal storage. There it is. And we will find on the device there is a folder called SP1 Inspect. We will use this folder later on in this tutorial as well. So if I go into SP1 Inspect and then into settings and then into common settings, and this is the place where I would like to move the file. So I have moved now the license file, which I downloaded onto the device, into the SP1 Inspect settings, common settings folder. And having done this, I will go back to the main screen. And if I have the application still running, downloads, SP1 Inspect, I will close everything and start over the SP1 Inspect application. And what we see now here in the bottom part, it says full license. So now we have a full license version of this application. And we see here as well, we have lost the connection. So what we need to do is on the SP1, we click the pair button and still the blue Bluetooth LED is flashing again. And then we click simply here on the icon to get the connection reestablished. And we see here in the bottom part, we have the serial number shown and the OS version of the SP1, which we're connected to. So now let's go back into the inspection part where we stopped. Barcode reading. I will go in here, start the barcode reading, scan some codes, and now I have the data in here. I can click finish reading, and now I see I have the output button enabled. So the data which I collected, I can use this data now and save it on the device in a certain folder in the SP1 Inspect folder on the device. And now it just simply saved this collected data in there. That's it basically. Now we can go back. Forget about the data, we don't need this, but now we come to the more interesting part. We go into reading writing. Okay, let's have a look at the normal reading function first. So first we need to select which type of data we want to see in the list. I would like to go for the EPC data now, and that's it basically. We see here our screen, and what I can do now is I can click on start reading. And the moment I do this, it starts reading the tags which I have laying around here. So we see actually 30 tags have been read, 31 tags, 32 tags. So I can click finish reading now, and now I have all the data here in my list. I can save the data here, I can clear the list. But what we have seen now is that it starts reading immediately and starts reading everything which is around here. As we remember in the beginning, we adjusted the settings to have a lower reading sensibility. But as we see here, as it starts reading everything which is laying around, we see that our settings which we done in the beginning didn't reflect now here in this reading process. And this is because all the functions we have here, they have an optimal setting which is set on. And this optimal setting is the best setting to provide the best performance for this task. And this setting is overriding the settings which we have done here before. So to apply our settings which we have done in the beginning, we need to click this switch to turn the optimal setting off. And now it is only reading the text which I have really close to me. So what I will do now is I will clear the list of data to get an empty list. And now I will start only reading the 15 tags which I have right in front of me. There they are. So And to do this, I really needed to go very close to the text with my antenna because we reduced the actual reading power. Good. So now I have a list of 15 tags which I have right beside laying to me now. And what I would like to do now is I would like to show you how to save this text. So we can click here on output, and then we have the option to select output result data or output master data. And in this case, I would like to select output master data. I can now give it a file name and click OK. And now it's stored the master data on the device. And we will use this master data now in the next step. So what I will do now, I will go back one level. I have to confirm that the data gets lost. Okay. And now I would like to show you the master verification process. So again, I pick EPC here. And now I would like to load a master file. And if I click on master file, I get the file which I just saved on the device. So it's checking which master data files are existing on the device. And now I pick this master data file and it reads in the master data file. And here I see the 15 tags which I previously read are now showing up in the master data file. So what I will do now, I will click on start reading and then we see what is happening. So we see this was very fast. The reading is already completed and we see here the result, what we have seen. So the 15 tags which we had in the master data file have been read because they are just lying beside of me, but additional 12 tags have been read as well. And this is the text which we see now here in the list. So the additional data. Why this was happening so fast? Because we already had this optimal setting switched on here. And I would like to do the same process now with the optimal setting switched off and pointing my antenna and getting very close to the device, to the text which I have here. So I will clear the data. Yes. I have my master data file loaded again. So I have my master data here again. I switch off now the optimal settings. And now I click on start reading. And it will start reading now, and we see the moment I go closer to my tags here, the tags are disappearing from the list because they are found and compared against the master data file. And now the moment this is completed, it recognizes, okay, all the data which I have registered in the master data file has now been found and I can stop reading. That's the target. Okay, now to show you what happens if we get additional text. So I will clear the data again, and then now I will start reading. And I will start reading here with my list of tags. And now I will read some additional tags, unlisted tags, and now I will continue reading the list. And we see here now the registered tags are disappearing from the list. And now all the tags have been read, the reading is stopped, and I had 4 additional tags which I have read, which are laying on the other side of my table, and I was pointing very close to them now. Okay, yeah, so this is about reading the master verification, using the master verification function. Now I can output the result as well. Store it as output result data. We can have a look at this later on. I will just save it now on the device. And we can go back one level, confirm that we don't need the data. Okay, so what else do we have? Reading, writing details. So reading, writing details. And in this case, the settings are automatically adjusted and we want to exactly read one tag and then possibly write something to the tag. So I click on reading and bring one tag very close to the reader. And now this tag data has been read, and we see now we get some information about the tag. It's a 19.6-bit EPC tag. There is no access password, no kill password set. This is the EPC data which we have here. We could change the data and then write it back if we want. What else? User data. This tag don't have user memory, so we see here no user data, so we can put no user data. And here in the bottom we get the information about the first 96-bit of the TID data. Each memory block, if it is available, I can lock, unlock, permanent lock or permanent unlock using now this function. But what I would like to do is now I would like to take this data and modify the data and say, okay, in the end we don't want to have the 15, but we want to have the 20. Now we're back at 96-bit. And now what I will do is I will simply write back the data. The access password is 0. We see this here in the top, so we leave it as 0. And the writing is in process, and we get the confirmation that now this data has been written back. So I can clear the information. So now I will read back in the data of the tag. And we see here it's a reading process in several steps, and here we have the data received back with the 20 at the end, which we have just written back in the last process. As well, there is a button here to manage tags, so we can change the access password, we can change the lock status of access password, we can change the kill password, we can change the lock status of the kill password. If we have done this, we can then even kill the tag with these functions. But I won't like to do this right now. I just want to show you the reading and writing function of the tag, and for sure we can lock the memory and stuff like this. So this is just to give you an overview about the reading and writing function. The unlicensed version does not have the writing capabilities and the managed tag capabilities, so you can just do the reading, but the moment you get a license key for the application, you can use the full functionality of this block. Good, now let's have a look at the last bit here, reading performance. Reading performance is basically something where we can check the reading speed. Here it is very important to leave the optimal setting on, because otherwise we won't see any good results. And the moment I start the reading process, the device starts reading the text which I have laying here in front of me. You hear the beeps, and if I stop it, I get the results. So the total time was 7 seconds. In this 7 seconds, we read 2,151 tags, so 307 tags every second. That's it. I can start an additional test here, and I can run the test and specify some duration, and then the test will repeat and will be repeated in several blocks. So we see here the beep is a bit annoying. 14 seconds, so we have 4,200 tags now, and still 306 tags roundabout per second. I can save this output data now on the storage as well for later reference. We will have a look at this later on. Good. This is about the reading performance. So this is all the reading writing functions we have here. And last but not least, we saw the barcode, we saw the reading writing, and now we will have a look at the tag search. So for the tag search, we can now first add a tag for reading or which we want to search for. So I will place a tag here close to the antenna and start the reading. And now, yeah, this is my tag, which we just changed with the tag data. And Now I can register this tag for search, so I have it here in my list. And now I can simply click on Start Search, and when I start reading tags and pointing closer to the tag which I just registered, we see how this is changing now. The speed, the reading speed is changing, and the signal strings is changing, and we see the result here on the screen. And the closer I come to the tag, we see the changes in the signal strength. So I can use this function if I'm searching for a certain tag and a certain functionality. I can use this function to walk around and then find the tag. Good. Okay. Yeah, basically that's it about the inspection part. Now let's have a look at the application part. If we look at this and if we understand how this is working, basically we have the tag search function here as well, which is the same function like on the inspection part. So if I click in here for the tag search, we see the same screen, so it's the same functionality. And then I have 3 buttons here for receiving goods, shipping goods, and inventory. And basically what these functions are doing, it's a master verification. And we see this right now. If I click on inventory, it says fail to get master data. Good. So now let's have a look how we can get around this. As we remember, we have saved some master data before in the on the device. Let me change the screen now. I will show you the storage of the device, and here we have the SP1 Inspect folder, and here we have a result folder, and where we stored our barcode reading master verify result files here. But more important, we have a master data folder and EPC master. This is the file which we just saved. And what I will do now is I will open this file and show you how it looks like. So basically we have 3 columns in that file. The EPC data, and then the data which is shown on the screen. So this is the tag EPC data. And this is the data which is shown in the list, which is the same because we were showing the EPC data in the list. And this is the quantity we have seen this tag. So we have seen this tag 1 time at that point. So this is basically the master data file which we were using in the master verification process. What I will do now is I will add a column here with all zeros inside. And save this in a certain folder on the device. And save it with a certain file name. So what I will do now is I will save this file, save it as, so SP1 Inspect master. I will show you where I will put it. Good, let's go back to this screen. I have saved the file now and renamed it inventory preset and called it item master CSV file. So this is now the file which I just changed and added 1 column with, so we have now the EPC shown on the screen, the expected quantity and the found quantity for an inventory. And now what we can do is, if I click on inventory here now, it says success to read the master data file because we have created this master data file, and now we have the 15 tags here in our inventory data. And now basically the process is the same as for the master verification reading. So I can click on start reading, and now I am reading my text, and that's it. And we see here we have no overwriting of the settings we made. You recognize the reading was slow because I had to closely point to each tag to make sure that I only read these 15 tags, and so there is no default setting or optimized setting here which I can switch on and off. In this functionality we always use the settings which we have prepared here in the settings. So now I got my inventory done. That's it. I can save the output if I would like to, and yeah, and that's it then. Output, result data saved on the device, and so I have my inventory. And basically, if we go back, receiving goods, shipping goods, inventory, they're from the functionality working all in the same way. So we need to prepare some master data file for these functions. For the inventory, it's the simplest master data file. For receiving goods and shipping goods, I have to prepare 2 master data files. Good, okay, yeah, that was the basic overview on the SP1 Inspect application. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial and it was somehow helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and we'll answer as soon as possible. Or send us a message. You can find our contact details in the description below as well. If you want to see more video tutorials from the DENSO Tech Academy or other video content from DENSO, check out our channel. Or subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos. Thank you and bye-bye.